Hey, what's going on, Sluggers family? Coach Hamley here at the facility, here to give you a dynamic warm-up to use with your team. We want everyone to be on the same page and use the same dynamic warm-up for practices and at games, especially tournaments. We want to look uniform as a program. There's no one dynamic warm-up out there. This one is just one I've used over the years with high school athletes, college athletes, and of course with my Sluggers guys. This is just a great way to get the lower body and the upper body warmed up, and we're also going to include a hip mobility. So with that, let's get started. So even with our younger guys all the way up to our 18U, we're going to do all of our stretches in 10-yard increments. The first one we're going to do is alternating walking lunge. So we're going to lunge, and we're going to twist over our forward knee, remembering to go slow and controlled. Working to get a good trunk stretch as well as getting our lower body stretched and warmed up. You'll see my assistant coach in here, Mr. Robbie Hamley himself. Okay, once we get down at about 8 to 10 yards, we're then going to do reverse, alternating lunges. Every step is a rep. Really encouraging our guys to go slow and smooth. For our younger guys especially, this really works on balance and coordination, and really making sure that we encourage them to get a stretch every time they step. So that's alternating walking lunge and then alternating reverse lunge. The next one is going to be walking RDL. Again, every step is a rep. Going nice and slow, slow and smooth, smooth as fast. Encouraging our athletes to get their fingers all the way down to the ground. Maybe give a 1 count at the bottom and then back up. Working to get our back nice and flat to the ground. We're going to again go all the way down to 10 yards. They'll do on the way back. Again, we want to help with time, and we should be able to get this done in about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. We're going to go over the fence and then side to side. And at about 5 yards, 4 to 5 yards, we're going to spin and alternate and turn directions. So we're going to go over the fence, and then we're going to go side to side. Really working on getting our groin and hamstrings nice and loose. About the halfway point, you're going to spin. And do the exact same thing. Again, remembering every step is a rep. Sometimes with the younger guys, it helps to remind them we're going side to side. We're pretending like we're underneath the fence. Really working on getting our hips nice and loose, and then our groin. The next one, which we would do on the way back, is hurdles. So we're just going to walk and pretend like we're getting our heels over the hurdles, over an imaginary hurdle, all the way down to 10 yards, and then you're going to come back. Now, having our athletes go back adds a little bit more balance, trunk, and core work. Again, nice and smooth, nice and controlled. Okay, a lot of younger guys want to race through these. Again, remembering the purpose is to get our blood flowing and increasing that tempo as we progress. So after reverse hurdles, we're going to go high knees, nose over your toes, Nipples over knees. Really working to get your athletes to get their knees up to the belt. We're going to do butt kickers on the way back. Getting as many kicks in as we can. Nice and smooth, nice and controlled. Pumping the arms, really getting the blood flowing into our arms and hands. Okay, now, as you can see with high knees and butt kickers, we've increased the tempo a little bit. Now we're gonna go quick reverse hurdles, and then we're gonna do normal hurdles on the way back. So quick, we're just here. Noticing I'm keeping my hands above my waist. We're gonna do the same thing on the way back. Get that foot, hit the ground, come back up with the other. Next piece is skaters. Now I like adding these last two plyometric moves simply because I have found even with collegiate athletes, a lot of guys, and you can tell, I got my heart rate up, I'm breathing a little heavy here, so this is doing what we're supposed to be doing. But we're lacking in hip mobility and also ankle mobility, so adding skaters and plyo hops into sprint is gonna help with that, okay? For skaters, we're gonna go 5 each way. We're gonna simply hop, collect the energy, and hop back the opposite way. And this really teaches our athletes to drive off the inner part of the foot. And notice as I hop, I collect by bringing my inward leg, or if I hop to my right, my left leg comes behind, it doesn't touch the ground. My left arm again, both arms swing towards that foot, and then I propel myself the other way, regain balance, and again I'm trying to really push off the inner part of my leg and my foot. And this really helps, especially with our pitchers and fielders for that matter, and hitting, where as we swing the bat, we really want to get that ankle and hip mobility. Same thing when we throw, really driving in that linear direction. And then we're going to finish with plyo hops. So we're going to do 5 plyo hops, excuse me, and then we're going to sprint 10 yards. Now, the first sprint we want to be at about 50%, and then 75%, and then the last two should be at 100%. So we're simply going to hop, bringing our knees, okay, up to our elbows. So we're going to hop. That's about 50%. 75%. And then the last two would be 100%, finishing at the following that you started at. Okay, so that's our lower body dynamic warm-up. Once our players get into the feel of it, should take about 5 minutes, especially if we're doing it right and we're keeping pace. Now, since we already got our lower half warmed up, we're going to go into hip mobility. Okay, so for hip mobility, we're working on really getting the outer and inner part of our hips, our groin area loose. Again, I found that a lot of athletes, young and old, really lack that mobility piece, which if you lack that mobility in your hip area, I mean, that's where athleticism comes from. That's, you know, where we drive power for throwing and for hitting. So the hip mobility is a great one to help our athletes develop that skill. So the first one we're going to do is reverse 90s. We're going to get our feet just outside shoulder width, hands in between our shoulders up by our chin. We're just going to go 90 degrees with our legs, right and left, and we're going to go 5 each way. Really working on getting the knees, outer calf, shin, outer part of the foot to touch the ground, keeping our chest, our torso facing in the same direction. Okay, so that's 90 degree, reverse 90 degrees. Okay, 5 each way. Now the next one is 90s. So we're gonna go to our right, okay, and get our feet to our hip at a 90 degree angle, both legs. And we're gonna take our left arm, we're gonna reach across, really sink into that hip. About a 2-3 count, we're gonna come up. And then we're gonna go over with our right. really working on stretching out our rib cage, that fascia. Okay, getting that nice and loose. Sinking deeper on each one. Remember to encourage the athlete to keep breathing. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing to our left. Again, going across now with our right, really sinking into that outer hip. And then across with our left arm, really working on getting that fascia, our lat, oblique, and the rib cage nice and loose. So we would do 5 each way on the 90s. Okay? Now since we're already in a seated position, I like to just go with our standard butterfly, and we don't sit there and flap them. What we want to do is work on getting them lower and lower and lower, trying to get our knees eventually to touch the ground. And we're really encouraging the athlete to keep breathing, because at this point the heart rate's up. We don't want to be panting like a dog. We prefer to be breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Leaning more and more into the hip. And then from here, we're going to put our right hand down, and we're going to take our left arm, and we're going to again get that fascia on that rib cage, lat nice and stretched out, about 5 seconds each way. Still incorporating a little bit of the hips. Okay, again, in about 5 seconds each way, nice and smooth and controlled, remembering to breathe, because we're putting a lot of pressure on our diaphragm, so it's easy to really restrict our breathing and be, at that quick dog-like pant when we really want to just be controlling the breath. Okay, the next one, we call these kickstands. We're going to take our right knee, keep it down. We're going to extend our left leg. Left palm is on the ground. Right hand behind our head. We're going to bring our right elbow to our left arm. We're going to come up as high as we can. Back down to the arm. Get that right elbow as high as we can. And your athlete is really going to feel a stretch in their left groin. Okay? Now keeping that left foot planted firmly in the ground is going to allow for more of a stretch in the groin. Okay, then we'd go the opposite way. Left knee down, right foot down, right hand down. Nice and smooth and controlled. 5 each way. And then our last hip mobility exercise is dog at the fire hydrant, where we're simply going to be on all fours. We're going to go out to the side, around, and down, and never letting the knee touch the ground. Side, down. We're going to go 5 of these. And it's easy for the athlete to want to race through this. Really encourage them to go nice and slow, smooth and controlled. This is also a great way to stretch out the core, the lower abdomen. So once they've gotten 5 to the side, now we're going to go back, side, in. Back, side, in. Okay? From the front, side, around, down, out to the side, around, down, and then back to the side and down. You're going to go 5 each way. So 5 on your right, 5 on your left. You're going to go 5 starting off to the side, and then you're also going to do 5 going back. So that's a total of 20 reps, 10 on each leg. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to move you back up here. We've gotten the upper body, we got the lower body all nice and loose. Your athlete should have a good sweat by now. Okay, the last thing that we want to do is get our upper half warmed up. Okay, and I prefer to do these walking, so we're going to go at those 10-yard increments, because I think as you're walking, you're keeping that heart rate up, you're keeping that blood flowing, which allows for more mobility as that blood is getting into your joints and extremities. So this is the 6-pack, T-T-Y-I-W-S. So that's T's, Y's, I's, and W's, and then at the sides. So we're going to go first, walking out. We're going to just go T's, okay, at the hips, palms facing down. Never getting higher than our shoulder. On the way back, we're going to go thumbs up. Again, never getting higher than our shoulders. Okay. Now we're going to go Y's. So if this was T's, Y's are right here. We're going to go thumbs up, down again to our mid-thigh, and up. Really working again the rotator cuff and the labrum nice and loose. Okay, we're going to come back. Getting a lot of reps in those 10 yards. Next is I's. So again, T's are off to the side, Y's are here, I's are within our shoulders. Okay, so we're going to walk down. We're not racing, it's not rapid fire, it's just a nice even cadence. We're going to come back. We're targeting the whole shoulder. Okay, and then we're going to go 10 yards again on the way down, W. So we're going to go from palms, we're going to have our palms facing back, and we're going to come up again as we walk. And then on the way back, we're going to go thumbs in, or thumbs facing back. Okay, especially this is great for our pitchers, replicating that breaking pitch. Okay, and then we can also, on our way back, halfway switch from here to here. This is good for even our position players because as you're turning your palms, the ligaments in your shoulder and throughout your arm have to shift as well, so you're getting a more thorough stretch. So W, palms facing back first. By now the shoulders should be feeling slightly fatigued, making it nice and loose. I'm going to go thumbs up now, and then halfway I'm going to go thumbs forward. Good, and then the last one is the S. So again, T, T, Y, I, W, and then at the sides, we're gonna go palms facing forward. And we're really working on getting the front of the shoulder and the pectoral area stretched out where arms stay straight. And as we walk, we're just pulsing the arm back and forth, the arms back and forth. Same thing on the way back. Okay, keeping the arms nice and straight, really getting a good stretch in the front of the shoulder and the chest. From there, our boys will then circle up. We're just going to do some basic arm circles. Okay, starting with small, getting bigger and bigger. And this is one that we give autonomy to, so if the shoulder's still feeling kind of tight, the guys can stay in here as long as they need. Okay, and then we'll go circles backward. Okay, circles getting a little bit bigger. Until you're going full range of motion. Some guys call these monster truck tires or windmills. Always coming to a gentle stop because we don't want to put strain on the arm. Into back slaps. Crossing right over left, left over right. Working on grabbing the back of the delt and getting a nice stretch through our chest as well. And then lastly, some trunk twists. Okay, arms up to the side, and as we twist, we're letting the arms just go heavy, almost like counterweights. And as you can see, as I twist to my left, as I twist to my right, my left foot comes up. As I twist to my left, my right foot comes up, getting full range of motion. Really working on stretching the lumbar, the lower back region. Okay, and this should also just be about time, about 30 seconds. Getting the back nice and stretched out. So that's your complete dynamic warm-up. Now that took about 20 minutes for me to get through it with explaining and talking. Really, it should take about 10 to 12 minutes to get it loose, getting your lower upper half and hips loose, and then going into your throwing progression. Okay, and then from there, your throwing progression should take about 10 minutes. So thanks for joining us. Again, I'm Coach Hamley from Slugger Sports Academy. As always, reach out to me if you have any questions.